What's the best coffee grinder for making espresso coffee at home? The 5 best espresso grinders. Espresso is one of the most popular coffee drinks in today's modern world. There are tons of different types and brands, but it's important to make sure you get the right maker for your needs. In this article,
Grind them at home than it is to buy pre-ground coffee. What's the best coffee grinder for making espresso coffee at home? Types of espresso grinders. 1. There are 2 main types of espresso grinders, blade and burr. 2. Blade grinders chop coffee beans into smaller pieces using spinning blades. They are typically cheaper than burr grinders, but can be less consistent and produce more heat, which can affect the flavor of the coffee. 3. Burr grinders crush coffee beans between 2 revolving surfaces, called burrs. This produces a more consistent grind and doesn't generate as much heat, making it ideal for espresso. Burr grinders can be either conical or flat-shaped, and can be manual or automatic. 4. The best espresso grinder for you will depend on your budget, preferred features, and grinding needs. How to grind coffee. If you want to make the best cup of espresso possible, you need to start with freshly ground coffee beans. And for that, you need a high-quality espresso grinder. In this section, we'll show you how to choose the right espresso grinder and how to use it to grind your coffee beans. There are 2 main types of espresso grinders, blade grinders and burr grinders. Blade grinders are less expensive, but they don't produce as consistent of a grind. Burr grinders are more expensive, but they produce a more uniform grind, which is important for making espresso. When choosing a burr grinder, there are 2 types to choose from: conical burr grinders and flat burr grinders. Conical burr grinders have 2 cone-shaped grinding wheels that crush the beans. Flat burr grinders have 2 flat plates that rub against each other to grind the beans. Conical burrs tend to be more expensive than flat burrs, but they're also more efficient at grinding coffee beans. What's the best coffee grinder for making espresso coffee at home? Once you've chosen a grinder, it's time to start grinding. Before you begin, make sure the grinding chamber is clean and dry. Then, add your coffee beans and close the lid. Choose your desired setting, usually somewhere between fine and extra fine. The finer the setting, the longer it will take to grind the beans, and vice versa. Start the What's the best coffee grinder for making espresso coffee at home? The 6 best espresso grinders. Assuming you're looking for the best espresso grinders money can buy, here are 6 of the best options out there. 1. Rancilio Rocky Espresso Grinder. If you're willing to spend a little bit more for quality, the Rancilio Rocky is one of the best espresso grinders on the market. It's durable, consistent, and easy to use. Pros and cons. Pros. The Rancilio HSD Rock SS Rocky Espresso Coffee Grinder with doser chamber is a high-quality, commercial-grade coffee grinder that is perfect for those who are looking for an automated espresso grinder that has a doser chamber. The 166-watt direct-drive quiet operation motor makes this grinder powerful and efficient, and it can easily grind coffee beans into a fine powder. How to choose a good coffee grinder. The tinted hopper has a capacity of 0.65 pounds, which means that you can store a lot of coffee beans in it without having to worry about them spilling out. The simple variable grinder adjustment control makes it easy to adjust the grind size, which is great if you want to produce different types of coffee drinks with varying coarseness levels. All units are tested before packaging, so you can be sure that there will be no trace of coffee residue left on the grinder when you receive it. Cons. Some people might find the grinder a bit noisy, especially when it is grinding coffee beans into a fine powder. Some people might not be happy with the fact that all units are tested before packaging as it's so messy. Check price. 2. Baratza Virtuoso Espresso Grinder. What's the best coffee grinder for making espresso coffee at home? Another great option for those willing to spend a bit more. The Baratza Virtuoso is a step up from the Rocky in terms of quality and features. It has 40 grind settings, making it very versatile, and produces very consistent results. Pros and cons. Pros. Baratza Virtuoso Plus grinders are favored by coffee professionals and backed by Baratza's world-class support. The digital timer and backlit grounds bin allow for accurate dosing of ground coffee. 40 grind settings provide a variety of options for customization. The durable conical burr ensures consistent grind quality each time. The Virtuoso Plus is easy to use and clean, making it a great choice for any coffee lover. Cons. It can be difficult to find replacement parts for the Baratza Virtuoso Plus. Some people may not like the design of the grounds bin. Check price. 4. Capresso Infinity Conical Burr Grinder, best budget coffee grinder for espresso. A popular budget option, the Capresso Infinity is a great entry-level grinder that produces decent results. It doesn't have as many features as some of the more expensive grinders, but it's a solid choice for those on a budget. Pros and cons. Pros. It has a gear reduction motor that grinds slowly with little noise. The large bean container means there is plenty of room to store coffee grounds. It preserves the aroma of coffee. It is easy to clean. It has a wide grinding range. Cons. The beans can get clogged up in the grinder, which can make it difficult to use. The height of the grinder can be difficult to adjust, making it difficult to fit in smaller spaces. Check price. 5. Breville Smart Grinder Pro. A good mid-range option, the Breville Smart Grinder Pro is a great all-rounder that can handle both espresso and other coffee brewing methods. It has 60 grind settings and an LCD display for ease of use. Breville has made the perfect coffee grinder. It has an impressive 16-ounce bean hopper, sturdy stainless steel conical burrs, and an adjustable 60 grind settings. What is Breville Latte and how to make a Breville Latte? The Precision Electric Timer has a built-in solution to this problem. It will automatically remember how long you ground your beans the last time the machine was used and run it for that same amount of time unless you tell it otherwise. The Dyson V8 does a great job of grinding, but it's also one of the loudest machines we tested. Aroma Housewares has created an incredibly capable and durable machine, one that is hard to compete with. Pros and cons. Pros. Stainless steel burrs, grind settings of 60, precision timer for precision or consistency. Many thanks. A 16-ounce bean hopper. Cons. There's no off button. It can be a little noisy, especially when grinding larger quantities of coffee. Check price. 6. OXO on Conical Burr Coffee Grinder with Integrated Scale. This conical burr grinder is budget-friendly and versatile. One downside would be that it's not as finely ground as a superfine espresso grinder, so you may experience a weaker shot. Best espresso coffee grinder. This coffee grinder has a hopper that holds up to 3/4 of a pound of coffee beans. There are 15 different settings, which gives you consistently ground coffee each time. To change the grind setting in this model, just press the button to activate your timer and set it for the time you want. It will automatically turn off after that setting is reached, saving you from manually turning it off. The grind time on this particular grinder is a little underwhelming. The beans keep getting jammed and it's hard to unjam them before it can continue grinding effectively. You'll have to shake or tap the grinder frequently to get the beans unstuck for now. What can you grind? Choice between blender and coffee grinder. My long-lasting unit has a few shortcomings that may or may not be deal breakers for you. The most frequent complaint is the amount of cleaning required after continuous use of the device. You'll need to keep the unit clean and tightly wrapped when it's not in use, or else there will be an uncomfortable buzzing sound that can make your work environment less than pleasant. Pros and cons. Pros. Durable and sturdy blades. When we start timer, hopper can hold up to 3/4 pound of beans at a time. 15 different grinding settings. Cons. Old beans get jammed. Constant buzzing. Not just fine, this coffee is perfect for espresso. Messy, it spits grounds. Check price. How much should I spend on an espresso grinder? It really depends on what type of espresso grinder you are looking for. If you are just looking for a simple coffee grinder to grind your beans for use in espresso, then you can spend less than $40. However, if you are looking for a high-quality espresso grinder that can also be used to make other types of coffee, then you might want to spend more than $100. It is impossible to say exactly how much a coffee grinder should cost, as the price will depend on a number of factors including the brand, size, and features of the grinder. However, a good rule of thumb is to expect to pay between $30 and $60 for an espresso grinder. Does